What's going on, folks? My name is Justin Freed, and I'm joined today by new, or I guess returning Jets punter, Thomas Morstead. Thomas, what's going on, man? I appreciate you joining me.
Yeah, you got it. Glad to be here.
I know I'm glad to have you back. I know Jets fans are stoked to have you back. What's cool is there's so many guys you worked with during your first stint with the team that are still here. You know, guys like Thomas Hennessy, Justin Hardy, Coach Brant Boyer, even Braden Mann is still here. So what's it like being able to see those guys again soon and just get to work?
Look, it's all exciting. Stability and continuity of knowing who you're dealing with is really important. It's not only important for players, but it's important for coaches. And sometimes when you bring a new piece in, you think that it's going to be good or it's going to work out, but at the end of the day, you really don't know until they get here. The fact that I know that the coaching dynamic, how that works, and all the pieces to the pie, like we already know that it works. So that's good for everybody. So I'm excited about it.
Definitely, man. I don't know. We're excited to have you back. What was the process like returning to the Jets this offseason? Were there other teams interested? Was it always going to be the Jets? Talk to me a little bit about that. Whatever you can share, obviously.
Um, no, I wouldn't say it was always going to be the Jets. No, absolutely not. I had a great run in Miami, and I really enjoyed my time. And I was actually kind of shocked, disappointed that I didn't end up going back there. But that's free agency, and that's part of being 37 years old as well. Sometimes you can't control what teams are looking for all the time. So I'm just excited. There were a number of teams that were interested. And so I think just from the standpoint of, Coach Boyer, Salah, Joe Douglas, knowing how all the wheels turn in New York, and the long snapper continuity there, that's a big deal. Having Greg as a just a total pro kicker, all those pieces, I'm excited about it. Justin Hardy's a big part of that. I mean, we broke records down in New Orleans together, and the guy's like a brother to me. So that's also another really exciting piece.
That's awesome. Is it hard because you played pretty much and you lived pretty much your entire life like in the South, from Texas to New Orleans, Miami, even Atlanta? How hard is it to kind of go back up north? Because the Jets, I think that's the first time you've played anywhere north of like Atlanta, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how to answer that. I mean, the field's 100 yards long and 53 yards wide. So, yeah, I mean, it's whether you play down south or out west or what, I mean, you still play away games and go to different venues. So, I mean, it's different as a place to live. I mean, last year I lived on the beach. Will not be doing that this year. So, but it'll be a new experience. I mean, when I was in Florham Park last year or 2 years ago, I was staying in a hotel because I thought it was a 3-week stay, and that was it. And then it turned into 7 or 8 weeks. So, I did not expect to be there that long. So, anyways, I was just in a hotel the whole time. This time will be different. I'll find a place to have for kind of for the full season, and make sure it's a good experience for my family, of course. So.
Of course, maybe not the beach. I don't know if maybe I'll upset the Jersey listeners, but Jersey's not really known for its beaches, at least not as much as Miami.
Right.
I want to talk to you a little bit about your career because you've pretty much done it all, right? Like you had an incredible 12-year career in New Orleans. You played over 220 career games. You won a Super Bowl. You were a key part of that Super Bowl win, and you're 37 now, so you've done everything there is to be done. A lot of guys might have called it quits after your time at the Saints, but you're still here. You're playing at a high level. So what is it that gives you the drive to keep going?
I mean, there's a lot of pieces to talk about related to it. I mean, the simplest way to boil it down is I just love it. I love the training. I love the everything that goes into it. I just love it. The hard stuff, difficult stuff, the grind of the season, being accounted on during a game when you need a big play, the the camaraderie, the locker room. Yeah, I just still love doing it. In fact, I love it more now than ever. And maybe that's what happens when you get closer to the end of your career. You start thinking about things like that. And yeah, I just don't want to have any regrets when I'm done playing, and I'm trying to maximize every opportunity I can. I think this is a really special opportunity, and I'm excited about it.
Right. And if you still got it, might as well use it, I guess.
Yeah.
I think the moment that, I don't want to say defines your career, but it's certainly representative of who you are, to me at least, is what happened moments after the Minneapolis Miracle. Now, I know you know what I'm talking about. I'm not sure how many Jets fans are aware, but of course, we all know the Minneapolis Miracle. But what many forget is that the NFL made the Vikings attempt the extra point after. There was pandemonium. A lot of your teammates had gone back to the locker room, but you came back out there and defended that attempt. Not only that, but you were hurt. You did so with, I think it was torn cartilage in your ribs. So you were hurt physically, I'm sure emotionally. Take me back to that moment. What was your mindset like going out there after what had just happened? Was there a conversation, or did you just kind of volunteer yourself?
Basically, I knew the rule, so I was waiting on the field. Mm-hmm. And at some point I just realized my team's gone. So I just went inside, and the referees were just leaving the locker room, and they were saying, "Hey, we need 11 guys." And, 2/3 of the team had towels around their waists. They weren't going back out. They had all their gear off, and I wasn't trying to do anything to stand out. They just needed 11 guys. So I just turned back around and went outside. And I know Case Keenum, and, he was out there waiting and said, "Hey, we're going to take a knee." I said, "You better," I don't play D tackle normally. So, yeah, I wasn't trying to stand out or do anything different. It just was, they just need 11 guys, and I was dressed out. So I went out, and so did, I think we had probably 8 guys out there. And then after that, I think they changed the rule. If the end result won't be affected by that last, conversion play, then they won't do it anymore. So.
Which, that's a good change. That's a good rule, because it's silly.
Yeah, it is.
Let's talk a little bit about your work off the field, because for as impressive as of a career as you've had on the field, your off field and your charity work has been even more impressive. So you and your wife started the What You Give Will Grow Foundation in 2014. Tell me a little bit about that foundation and what your guys' goal is.
Well, we started that. Basically, we wanted to be able to kind of have a wide range of things we could do in New Orleans, in that area, Louisiana, Mississippi area, that we could help, make a change or do something positive in the community. And, the Saints do a really nice job down here of helping players learn all the different needs that there are down here in this community. And so it gave us a chance to kind of get our feet wet in a bunch of different areas. And then we kind of locked in on a few different things that we really liked doing and thought was impactful. And we're actually in the process of closing that foundation down now, because over the past 3 years, COVID shut us down from hosting events and hosting fundraisers and doing all the events we were doing with kids that were sick. And then my executive director moved away, and then I'd been on the road playing from a distance. And so it's just been a lot of, not having continuity. So we still do things locally, but we really just kind of personally do things instead of doing big fundraisers now down here, just because we haven't been able to. Everything's changed since COVID for us, in about every way. But we've really loved doing it. We're still involved down here, and I've made a lot of money kicking a ball for a living. So I don't know. I just felt kind of, obligated to, do something positive with the platform I've been given. It's an amazing, amazing career opportunity, financially, all the cool experiences you get. And I just wanted to, pay some of that forward a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely think you did. I think you were very involved and still are very involved in that New Orleans community. Even aside from that and your other charity work, which, there's a lot, we don't have time to get into all of it. But you also helped write a children's book a few years ago titled The Middle School Rules of Thomas Morstead. So how did that whole thing come about, and what inspired you to write it?
I interviewed with Sean Jensen at the Super Bowl when I went to Minnesota to give the money back to the children's hospital up there. And he just asked if after all that happened, we stayed in touch, and he asked if I was interested in doing this book series with him. And I just joked that I didn't know if he was actually trying to sell books or not, but I'm a punter in a small market, and so he said he really just thought my story was interesting and would be of value to kids, and so we decided to go through with it, and it was a cool experience to do it, and it's a neat little artifact to have. Kids have really enjoyed it, and we've been able to do some cool things down here in New Orleans, just donating books to schools and doing fundraisers with it. So it's been really neat.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean, not many people can say that they've written a children's book. That's a cool thing to have on your resume. Again, there's so much other stuff from your work with the St. Baldrick's Foundation, like you mentioned, the Minnesota Children's Hospital. We don't have the time to get into all of it, but I definitely encourage anyone listening to read up on some of the other stuff you've done off the field, because it's awesome. Like, you've done a ton of stuff.
Thank you.
Now we have a few fan submitted questions, if you don't mind, really quick.
Sure.
Of course, the most common question I received was, when are the Jets trading for Aaron Rodgers? But I think that's probably a little bit above your pay grade.
Definitely is.
Yeah. The first real question we got comes from Enraged Kermit on Twitter. It's a great name. They ask, who's your favorite punter of all time? And in parentheses, they put besides yourself. So I guess they're assuming you're a little egotistical. I don't know.
That'd be really hard to dial it back to one person. I don't think he's considered an all-time great in the eyes of like pro sports writers or things like that, but I'm a big fan of Dustin Colquitt. 15 years all with one team. Just an elite ball striker. On and off the field, did things the right way. Sam Cook's another guy, Baltimore, I think 16 years with them. Just consistency. Made changes as his career went along to kind of not kind of get left in the dust, and continued to evolve and change and grow. So anyways, big fans of both of those guys and the careers they had and the way they represented themselves. It's kind of how I want to be thought of when I'm done.
I mean, I don't know what my opinion matters, but I think you will be. Those two guys, obviously legends in their respective teams and beloved by those fan bases. And I think we could say the same for you for sure.
Yeah.
Next, we got a question from One Jets Arm on Twitter. They ask, who on the current Jets roster would you least like to have returning punts against you?
I wouldn't even know how to answer that. I mean, I don't have a super strong knowledge of who's even on the Jets roster currently. And I know Barrios just left to Miami.
Well, I will say they did just sign Mecole Hardman, and I don't want to throw him out there, but I think that's a lot of speed,
It is. That is a lot of speed, no doubt about it. Yeah, we'll go with him then. That sounds good.
That's fair. I think that's a good answer. Not just because I pitched it. East Coast or East Zone coverage on Twitter asks, what number will you be wearing? Of course, you wore number 4 during your first stint with the Jets, but DJ Reed's got that one locked down. So have there been any discussions about your number for Jets fans that might want to buy your jersey?
Nope, nothing. I do know there's going to be some specialists wearing different numbers than ever has been done before in history. Mm-hmm. Because they've now opened up the numbers from 0 to 49 for specialists and 90 to 99. So yeah, I'm as soon as I get up there, I'm sure I'll, figure that out. But I've never been a guy that's, too concerned about what my number is. Just glad to have a number. So we'll see what happens.
That's true. I think that number 0 is available if you want it. You could be the first Jet to
I'm gonna stay away from that, guaranteed. That's setting myself up for some, being a 0 and a punter. I don't know. That's not for me.
The jokes might write themselves. You're right.
That's my point. That's my point.
Last one for the Twitter questions. We got one from Peyton. They say, what would your profession be if you weren't a football player?
There's a lot of things I'm interested in. I used to tutor. I was an engineering student in college. I used to tutor calculus. So I think I'd be like a math teacher and football coach, soccer coach, really any coach. I'd be like, I think I could learn any sort of technical coaching when it comes to sports, whether it's kicking, punting, which I'm obviously very versed in, or sports that I'm not as versed in, like, baseball, other things like that. I love instructing kids on the technical nature of the game, and being like a swing coach or golf or anything like that. But I think teaching, mentoring, coaching is kind of what I could do. And the money wouldn't be an issue, as far as like, it wouldn't be what's motivating me to do it. I would just love doing it.
Right. Is coaching something you're interested in after you retire?
Yeah, I think I'd be really good at it. I don't know that I would want to coach at the NFL level. I mean, the hours that those guys spend away from their families is, not something I'm interested in. But at the same time, I know a bunch of really good coaches that said they never do it, and they're doing it now. So, guess never say never. But I do think I'd be gifted at doing that.
Fair enough. All right. Well, we'll finish it off with a couple of fun, quick hitter questions. Just, a little get to know you, essentially.
Yep.
You kind of just answered this a little bit, but first, what are your favorite hobbies outside of football? What do you like to do?
Honestly, I just try to spend as much time with my kids as I can. They're growing fast, and my oldest is about to turn 9, which is like halfway to college, if you think about it, which is scary. So I just have this sort of gut feeling on the finite, nature of time. And I just want to spend as much time with my kids as possible. Specifically for me, I love training. I love being in the gym. So whether I'm playing football or not, that's kind of a lifestyle piece for me, and I'll always do it.
That's a great answer. It doesn't get much better than spending time with your family.
That's right.
Do you have any hidden talents, something people might be surprised to know you're good at?
I don't know. I'd probably give a boring answer. I really don't have, I wouldn't say there's anything that I'd be super talented at. Take me to a Dave & Buster's and put me on a Pop-A-Shot basketball goal, and I'll break records.
There you go.
So maybe that. Pretty much anything that's got a repetitive sort of motion to it, whether it's playing pool, cornhole, darts, anything like that, I'm pretty good at.
That's funny. Good. There you go. Of course. I think it's safe to say you're pretty good at that.
There you go.
All right, last question. This is always my favorite question when I ask this one. What is your go-to karaoke song?
Wow. I mean, I feel like anytime you're out and it's late and you're listening to karaoke, Sweet Caroline comes on, and the whole bar stands up. So I'm gonna go with that.
That's a great answer. Classic karaoke. All right, Thomas, I really appreciate you taking the time, man. I think I speak for all Jets fans when we say we're super excited to have you back. You thinking what I'm thinking? You thinking Super Bowl this year, maybe?
I think that everybody's expectations are very high for this team. And I've been on teams that have had those expectations and flopped, and I've been on teams that have had those expectations and done great. I've been on teams that went to the Super Bowl that was picked to finish 4th in the division. So all I know is I'm excited to be here. And if we want to go and we want to maximize whatever this team can end up being, you got to start from ground zero, and offseason starts next week. And if everybody's got a builder's mentality and a foundational mentality, no matter where they're at in their career, that we're building something new and you've got to go out and earn it this year. I think if everybody has that mentality, we'll have a shot to be our very best. Sorry for the PC answer there.
No, that was a good answer. That was a really good answer. Hell yeah, man. That's, we're hoping for the best. And I wish you all the best this year. We're definitely pulling for you. Jets fans, thank you so much for watching or listening, or whatever you're doing. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You guys know what to do at this point. We stream live every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern time on the Jet Press YouTube channel. Until then, I've been Justin Freed. That has been Thomas Morstead. We'll see you guys next time.